Hello everyone, welcome to this video. This one is going to be a video recording of the explanation of the full paper. So this is our 2019 paper 2 through Express. So I'm going to explain every single question in this paper in one take, hopefully. Okay, so here we go. So our first question is a simple inequality. So you can see that you just do it as if it is the equal sign, and you only change the sign when it is you multiply or divide by a negative number. So you can see that I'm going to both side plus 3 and then both side plus x. So you can see that after this it becomes like this, and I'm going to divide the 3 over, and since it's divided by 3 the sign remains unchanged. So that's the answer. So you can see that our next question, we want a single fraction. So we must always check the denominator, because before we combine it needs to be the same, right? So you can see that these two, this is x plus 1 squared, this is x plus 1. So we're only short of x plus 1 here. So I'm going to multiply numerator, denominator by x plus 1. You can see that I'm multiplying over here, multiply, and I'm going to combine at the same time. Once you get this done, it's simply just expanding and simplifying the numerator. You can either stop here or here, up to you. Okay, the next one we are looking at simplify. Simplify simply means cancel everything, right? So you can see that what I do is for the divide, I'm going to change to times, and then because of that, the fraction will be flipped. The power remains unchanged, so the power don't change. And after that, I'm just going to cancel everything. One important trick you can do is that you can take your calculator, you can press 7 times 5 divided by 14, then you will get half. So actually this is the half here, and then the rest of the letters you just figure it out by cancelling. So you can see that y square and y become y cube, and then below got x cube, below y square you just cancel, left only x, and so on. Okay, so just cancelling. So the next question, we're looking at indices. So you notice that the power is negative and it's a bracket power. So I tend to want to flip the fraction inside here so that the power becomes positive. So it's 1/3, I flip the fraction. After this, you can literally just do just so-called times in, because bracket power means the two powers will times. So we're looking at 12 divided by 3, so it's 4. And then for the x is 6 divided by 3, 2. And for 27, you can press calculator, but actually I know that power half is square root, power 1/3 is cube root. So this is a perfect cube, just nice, it's going to be 3. Next one, we're going to solve. So this is similar to the previous question where we need to combine the fraction first. So in this case, this and this denominator has totally no link. So they need to multiply each other. That's why the 3 needs to multiply this one. The negative 2 needs to multiply this one, and then I'm also combining at the same time. You notice that after this we need to multiply the denominator over, but there's a 0 here, so when you multiply over, the whole thing gets eliminated. If this is not equal to 0, let's say it's 1 or 2, you got to multiply the whole thing out, everything shift one side, and probably use the quadratic formula to solve. In this case, it's actually quite simple. Okay, so next we're looking at a bit of indices. So based on this is kilowatt, and from this tetrawatt to kilowatt, you need to times 10 to the power 9. So these are all tetrawatt. Okay, so first thing is they say convert the total electrical consumption, which is this one. So this number needs to change to kilowatt. So I'm going to multiply by this. Okay, so here, and then they want standard form 3SF. So from here, this is not standard form because the decimal needs to be at here. It needs to be less than 10, right? So I'm going to shift the decimal, and the power must adjust to compensate. After this, I need to round this decimal to 3SF, so that because it's 3SF, right? So from here it becomes like this, done. After that, we need to calculate percentage of total electrical consumption used by industrial. So industrial is here, as a percentage of total is here. So you notice I just take the two numbers, divide, times 100. So this is simple percentage. Next, we're looking at this one. The population is 5 point something million. So million is 10 to the power 6. You need to know this. They won't tell you in exams. Okay, then the average household per person. So I'm looking for household, this one, 7.2 something. And then I'm going to divide by the 5 million something. And then I just press calculator, blah, blah, blah. I get this. This is because I want it to be 3SF as always. Okay, then after that, we are looking at the amount of consumed by other sectors. And so other sectors is here, this one. And then they say that in 2016 it was this, and right now it is this. So I ask you for the percentage increase. So percentage increase is always the new number minus the original number, then divide by the original times 100. So again, there's nothing to do with standard form here. After that, I just 3SF. Okay, after this, they say that the household income, household electricity increased by 10.5%, which means this household, this 7.2 something here, is already increased, which means it's not 100%, so it is 110.5%. If you change the decimal, it is this one, so this is equal to this. Since I want the 2012 number, that means I want the 100%, so I'm looking for 1. So both sides divide by 1.05, and that's it. So after that, this is the answer. Okay, so for the next question, this is what we call a bit of realized context, in other words, common sense. They say cash price inclusive of 7%, which means this 2800 is not 100%, it is 1.07%, because it's 107%, you write as a decimal. And then they want the GST. So what I do is I find 1, which is the original price without GST. So this one, but I want GST, right? So I need to take this minus this to get the final answer. After this, we're looking at this is what I call hire purchase. So he say he pays 20%, and then after that, for 12 months he pays 200. How much does he pay in total? So 20% of the cash price. Cash price is here. See, cash price 2800. So 20% is 20 over 100 times the cash price. After that, this is the 12 months, 200 each. So add together, answer. After this, you can see the keyword here is compound interest per annum. Once you see per annum, that means there's no trick. So this is the formula. The starting amount is 2800, and the interest 5% here, and then 2 years here. And since this is per annum, there's nothing to do here. Nothing to do. There's no need to change 2. So this 2 remains. You can account, this is the answer, but you must take note, they want to calculate interest. So this is not the interest, this is the final amount. So you got to minus the starting 2800 to get the interest here. Okay, after this, we are looking for model number. So this means mode. So you remember in, I think, Sec 2 we learned mean, median, mode, right? So that's what it is, mode. So mode means in this case, color that appears the most number of times, which is this one, because it's the highest number is 10. So this is the answer. After this, they say if this whole table is changed to a pie chart here, pie chart, what is the angle for yellow color? So yellow color is over here. So if you look, pie chart is a circle, right? Then every color will have like a portion like that. So but what you need to know is the whole thing is going to be 360, and you notice the frequency, if I add together, is 36. So it's just a fraction thing. So 6 out of 36 is the fraction, and I times 360, I get 60 degrees. That's the answer. Next, we're looking at coordinate geometry. I got 2 points P and Q. Find the length. This is just straight up sub into the formula. This formula is not given to you. You better remember this. Okay, next, I want the equation of PQ, which is this 2 point. To find equation, we need gradient and 1 point. So 1 point can be any point, doesn't matter. Obviously, I will choose this because there's no negative. And then I find the gradient. So it's in this case, y minus y divided by x minus x. This one here. So the gradient is minus 4. Again, this is not given in the equation. You need to know this. After this, I'm going to sub the point 1, 3. This one, I choose this point. So my y go mx plus c. This is the y because y is 3. And then the mx is m, the gradient. And x is x plus c. So I'm going to just solve. C is equal to 7, but that's not the answer. Remember, the formula, the equation is the full answer. So it's y equal to mx plus c. Okay, next, they ask you to explain whether this and the PQ intersect. This is the L, right? So you must know that for 2 lines to intersect, they cannot be parallel. So this line's equation gradient is minus 4. So the question is, what is this line's equation? So from here, I want to shift it over to become like this. so that I can see it in the form of y equal mx plus c. So this is the m, happens to be minus 4. So see, it's the same gradient, which is why they do not intersect, because they are parallel. Actually, there's another reason, there's another condition where they cannot have the same y-intercept. That's why I put it down here. Okay, so you can see that the y-intercept is 2, and the y-intercept here is 7. So based on these two reasons, add together, they will never intersect. After this, they say this m, this line m, and then ask you to find the intersection point of these two. So it's going to be very clear which two lines we're talking about. This line M and this line L, which is also here. Okay, so what they are testing is how do you find the point of intersection. That is, you must solve the equation where you equate the two lines. So I'm writing the two lines here, and I'm going to sub into each other, or you can just equate because both of them happen to be y. So it's this equal this. So I'm end up with here. You solve the simple equation, you get x. You sub it into one of this, you get y, and that is the answer coordinates. So next, this is the big graph question, right? So as we've always, give you some equation, give you the values of tables, ask for p. So p is over here. So I'm going to sub x equal to 1.5 into this equation. Press calculator, you will get a y. So in this case, it's 2. So this one is 2. After this, I'm going to plot the graph. So you just plot everything into the graph you plot. So the graph looks like something like this. So it's this one. This curve here is the graph. Okay. After that, they ask you to use your graph to find the value of y when x equal 2.5. So I need to go to my graph, look for x equal 2.5, which is somewhere here, right? 2.5. I go up, touch the graph, go over here, this is the answer. So this is 0.85 is the answer. So this is just straight up looking from the graph. Oh, by the way, the dotted lines here are what you call working. You need to have this dotted line in your graph. After this, I need to solve this equation. This equal to 4. Now the first thing we must do is we must check, we plotted this graph, is it the same? So in this case, it is the same. So it's going to be very easy, because when we say use your graph, it's graphical method. So I need to have this graph intersect this graph. So this graph is just y equal to 4. That's why you must write down, draw y equal to 4. And I think this is quite easy to draw. You know that it's a horizontal line at 4. So you can see that this is the 4. It's a horizontal line. I draw it, I label, and then the answer is where this and the curve cuts, which will be somewhere here, right? So you go down, go down, go down. This is the x value, 0.75. Okay, so it's quite easy. So you can see that this is almost the same, right? With one exception. So the graph is the same. I also plotted this graph exactly the same. So which means I need to draw y equal to x, this one. Now, if your math is not the greatest in the world, you don't know how to draw, that's too bad. But you can always plot the values. So you just come up with 3x values. So a lot of people don't understand how I come up with these 3 values. Look, in your graph there's 0 to 5. Any number between 0 to 5 will do. So clearly I'm going to choose the easy number 0, 1, 2. So what I'm doing here is, when I sub x equals 0 here, y is equal to 0 lah. So if I sub x equal to 1, what is y? Y is 1. That's why it's called y equal x. What? That's why x and y are always same number. So these 3 points, I'm going to plot. It's going to be here, here, here. I draw the line, it's a straight line. And then the answer is again, the curve and this line where they cut. In this case, they cut exactly here. And I go down all the way to read the x value, 1.7. Okay, after that, it's the easy one. Draw tangent of this graph which we plotted at x equal to 2. So again, I need to go to my graph. I look at x equal to 2 here. Okay, so this is the point. So again, I'm using my ruler. I'm going to balance and tilt it in such a way that from here, let's say the space here and the space here is about the same. So this looks quite good. I'm just going to draw. And then I'm going to pick 2 points. Now, I'll always pick the point where they ask me to draw, because this is clearly one of the points. So if I look at the graph, I see that this one is just nice. So let me just zoom this up to the camera so that you can see. You can see that at this exact point, you see the graph cuts the intersection of the axis very nicely. So this is my point, 0, 3.6. This is 2, 1.3. So for the working, you notice I put a star here. As good working, we should always write down what are the 2 points I used. And then from there, you find the gradient. This is just being friendly to the marker. Because if the marker don't know what you're doing, it's going to mark you wrong. Okay, so that's your whole big rough question. Next question will be, this is our standard trigo bearing combo. You can see that I always check all the numbers. 28 have, 58 have, 21 have, this one don't have. They never write. So I need to figure out where this 144 is. Bearing of R from P. So from P is here. So if I from here I go down all the way. So this whole thing is the 144. They won't tell you. You need to know. Okay, so with this you know that because this is 144, this is 86. So after that, calculate QR. So QR is here. You can see it's very obvious that I have this, I have this, I have this. So this is our famous V shape. I always call it the V shape like that. Have. If I need to find this, it's going to be cosine rule. So straight up, I put everything in the cosine rule, press calculator, answer straight away. Okay, after this, I need to find PRQ. So PRQ is PRQ, this one, right? So usually after cosine rule, you can just guess it's going to be sine rule next. So again, I'm looking for, I want this angle, I have the one opposite. So I need another pair. So I have this and I just found this. So this and this is the pair. For sine rule, I write it down. Again, you just shift the things around, press calculator, you get the answer. But this is not the only thing they want. They also want you to find a bearing of Q from R. So from R, I put my thing here. And from the north, I'm going to go down until Q. So this small little angle is what I want. So in this case, for bearings, usually the trick is this north and this north, this line, are always parallel. So there's always some sort of alternate angle of interior angle involved. So you can see that in this case here, 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 this is what I call a Z, and this is 144. This is also 144, and this angle we just found. So if you add everything together, you notice that the small angle over here, you can be obtained by this whole thing minus away the straight line 180. That's why eventually I took the two of them plus together minus 180. That's the answer. Now a small little thing to take note. You notice that I put 019 instead of just 19.4 because our bearings need to be 3-digit, and then with a decimal if need to. So just to take note of this. After that, they were saying, okay, this Patrick walking from R to Q, and then shortest distance between the Patrick and P. So R to Q. So this is simple English, right? He say this guy is at R to Q somewhere here, and where is the point where he's nearest? So you know that nearest means shortest distance means perpendicular. So exactly this point is where this Patrick guy is. Okay, so this is then what do you want to find? We're going to find the distance, right? So this is a classic shortest distance question. So very simple. This is the distance I want. Let's call it X or H, whatever. So I always call it the triangle equal triangle trick, because it's always this going to be this triangle's area. So half base times height is the area. The area can also be found by half AB sine C. So I'm going to slot all this number in. Okay, so this is our half base times height. So this QR is this number. This H I don't know. And this half AB sine C, I have all the numbers. So you realize that there's only one unknown over here. So this divide over, solve, done. Okay, this is quite simple. After that, we got some helicopter flying 15 meters above Q. So it says above Q, right? So Q must be on the floor, B must be above. It's common sense, right? After they ask you to calculate angle of depression of P from B. So of P, so it's P and B. So definitely it's going to be like this. The angle of depression is always this one, not this one, this one. And you realize that this is effectively this angle because this and this is always parallel. So in other words, depression and elevation is always the same number. So with this, since I got both the numbers, this is from some other previous part, this is just simple tangent. So tangent, this is this over this, you go and shift it around, solved. After this is circle properties. Since we are not testing this for end of year, I'm going to skip. Okay, so after this, we got this congruent thing. So they just ask you to name. Nobody say must prove. Look, 1 mark only. So if you just visually look, you can tell that this must be the 2. It's pretty obvious. And then you just write it down. But you notice that AM and BM are the shorter side. So these 2 must be the corresponding letters. That's why you see in my answer, since I put A first, B must be the first letter also. If you swap it around, even though it's the same triangle, you're going to get it wrong. Okay, because this is congruent and similarity, we are pretty particular about the order. After this, they tell you that these 2 triangles are similar, which is this and this. And then they give you all the numbers I wrote down in the diagram already. And they ask for CM. So CM is here. So since they tell you it's similar, this must be done using similar triangles. So since these 2 are the triangle, this over this must be equal to this over this, right? The big over the small, the big over the small. They call it corresponding side. So 9/6 equal to CM over 4. And just shift over, answer. Next, we are looking at arc length and whatever. You can see that this is radian, so be careful. Calculator must change to radian mode. And then I got a tangent here, and then this length. They say that this arc here is the same length as this one. So this is pretty important. You don't always see such things. So this one must be used at some point, right? So after that, we want BDC. So BDC. So that's the arc here. They want the arc. So since this is radian, you got the formula, right? It's r theta. So it's r is radius 8. Theta is the 1.1. Just put it in, answer straight away. After this, they want the segment. So this little, it's not really semicircle, but it's like it's just called segment, right? So if you've done enough maths, you know that it's sector minus triangle. So it is the sector over here minus the triangle. Then once you realize that, so this is the sector equation, half r squared theta. The triangle is always half AB sine C. You slot all the numbers in, press calculator, done. Next, I want the chord BC. So if I look at the picture, BC is over here, right? So this is again the famous V shape, the V shape and the angle. So if you look, I draw it here. So again, it's this V shape and the angle in between you have. So you see V shape, angle in between. So I have everything. This is just straight up cosine rule. Everything put in, solved. After this, I want the shaded region. So this is a bit more difficult. So let's go back to the picture. This is the shaded region. So as with all shaded regions, it must be made up of shapes that you know plus or minus each other. So just simply looking at it, you can tell that it's definitely going to be this triangle minus this segment. And this segment we already found, right? This segment is on here, 6.68. So the question is how to find the area of triangle. Now area of triangle, there's 2 ways, half base times height or half AB sine C. So I can't really tell the height. There's like there's no way to get this. And you realize we haven't used this yet. They say that this arc is equal to this AC. So you can see this 8.8. That's why I put the arrow here, 8.8. So I have these 2, and I need half AB sine C to find the area of triangle, right? Because half base and height clearly cannot work. So definitely I need this angle. And as we can see, this is a isosceles triangle. So radius, isosceles. If I have this, I can find this 2. It's just base angle. And then since this is a tangent and the radius, the whole thing is 90. So I'm going to find the base angle. Take 90 minus, I get this one. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is the base angle. I take 180 minus 1.1 divided by 2, base angle. And then 90 degrees is over here because the radius and the tangent is perpendicular, so minus this is the angle. So after that I have the angle, it's just half AB sine C, then minus away the segment, which is the part B's answer, and you get the answer. Okay, almost there. Okay, last one. We got pyramid. What do I want? I need to show that the slanted height is 19. Sorry, slanted height EX. So this is the one. So the slanted one. Okay, so this is standard pyramid question, so it's pretty, if once you know how to do it, it's quite easy. So you can see that I give you the 18. If I use this triangle, it's a right angle triangle, I'm drawing it here. So why is this 7? Because from here to here is halfway, because O is the center, and this is 14, so this is 7. I got this, Pythagoras theorem, straight away the answer comes out. After that, I need to find surface area. So now surface area, there's 5 things here. Because the base is a square, I need the square. And then since the square is a four-sided shape, there's going to be four triangles here. So here, that's why it's four triangles. And the triangle is this one. So for example, this is one of the triangles. They're all the same size. So it's half base times height. And EX, the slanted height, is the height. See, 19.3, 19.3. That's why it's the square, 14 times 14. Four triangles. Each triangle is half base times height. Add together, answer. After this, this pyramid was melted. So melted, be it sand pour into another thing, all these things, it simply means the volume has not changed. So that's what you must know how to play this game. Huh? So and then it's melted to form cuboid 775. So how many can you form? So first thing I need to figure out the volume of one of these cuboids. So it's 7 times 7 times 5, right? 245. And then I need the volume of the pyramid. So pyramid formula is not given. So it's as with all things, volume is going to be base area times height. So the base is a square, the height is 18. But because the pyramid is a pointy shape, just take a cone. So there's a 1/3 in front. So this is the volume of the pyramid. So after that is simple maths. You take the total volume divided by each cuboid. Just divide, you get 4.8. Now be careful, the answer is not 4.8 because how many cubes can you form, right? So you can form 4 and 0.8. So you can only form 4. You can form 5. It's not enough to form 5. So answer is 4. After this, we have the real life question. Okay, I'll leave you to read this, right? So, but I'm just going to explain how to do it. So they say the width of the public paths. You can see that over here, they say that the device must cross each other. To allow the device to cross each other, and the maximum you can have is 140. So it's common sense, right? If one PMD is 70, for two to pass each other without banging into each other, you need to times 2 lah. 1.4 meters. They say in meters, right? Very tricky, in meters. So that's it. After that, what do they ask? They ask you to find the amount of time he needs to travel 300 meters if he choose B. So let's look at the B. So this what are time? So time is just distance divided by speed, right? So the distance is 300. Let's look at B. B speed is x, C speed is x plus 2. So simply just distance divided by speed, right? So this distance divided by speed, distance divided by speed. So this is pretty obvious. And then after that, they say B and C cover 300 meters. Here, 300 meters, difference of 12 seconds. So it must be we must check, this is seconds, so this is also seconds, right? And you see that I put longer, shorter. So if the difference is 12, the longer one minus the shorter one must be good 12, right? So this minus this must be 12. And I'm going to check the units again. The time is 12 seconds, seconds, everything seconds. Okay, sweet. After this, I'm going to show that it's like that. So this is what I call the big quadratic equation, or the question, where we form a quadratic equation, usually in fractions. And then I need to combine this, and then I need to times over. I'm skipping a bit of steps. I'm literally taking this time this over here, and then the denominator I at the same time times over. After this, I'm going to expand all the brackets, all shift to one side. I get 12. Since I want x squared and I have 12x squared, it's obvious that I need to divide by 12 throughout, then done. After this, find the maximum speed of the tree design, meaning solve for x, right? So from this equation, even if you can't prove it, you need to take this and continue and solve. So write the formula, slot the ABC in, press calculator. Do not press this yourself. Use the mode 33 or mode whatever your calculator is. Solve. So this is x, but since they ask for the tree design, one is x plus 2, one is x minus 2. That's why these three answers come from. And then they say, which one should he buy? So he must buy the one that is legal, isn't it? In Singapore, right? We only buy things that are legal. So if you check, you will quickly notice that you see I've ticked here. So the weight is 20. So this is all fine. So I put a tick here, and then the width is 70. So this is not okay. Okay. And then the speed must be 25 kilometers per hour. You notice that we have a problem here because the speed is meter per second, which means I need to convert. So from this 3 speed here, I need to convert all of them to meter per second, or I can just convert the speed limit 25 kilometers per second to meter per second. So I choose to do that. So 25 kilometers change to meters times 1000, and then hours change to seconds, 3600. So I want meter per second, so the meter second. I just take this, divide by this is meter per 1 second, because this is 3000 seconds. Just divide lah. So 6.99, 6.9444 is the limit. So this is okay, this is not okay, this is okay. So if you turn back to the first page, these two are okay. So the only one with all ticks is design B, and that's why this is the one you buy. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you and bye bye.